On the strike for January 9th, 6:30 p.m. Roll call, Parkowski here.
Wales here.
Reyes here.
Church here.
Happy New Year, everybody. Before we start, pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, it's kind of appropriate here. Today is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and our first order of business is official swearing in a couple of officers. So, and who are we doing first?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Officer.
Officer.
I, Jeremy Crowell,
Have been appointed
to
the office of police officer
the office of police officer
in and for the town of East Troy.
in and for the town of East Troy.
Swear that I will support
Swear that I will support
the ordinances of the town of East Troy,
the ordinances of the town of East Troy,
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the state of
and the
Wisconsin,
Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the United States,
and will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Actually, you should get the chief over here. Yeah, let's do that.
Thank you, congratulations.
I, Scott Rarby,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office of Lieutenant of Police,
to the office of Lieutenant of Police,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America,
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Wisconsin,
of the state of Wisconsin,
and that I will be alert and vigilant
that I will be alert and vigilant
to enforce the criminal laws
to enforce criminal laws
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the town of East Troy, Warwick County, Wisconsin,
of the town of East Troy, Warwick County, Wisconsin,
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
in any manner
in any manner
of account of personal bias or prejudice,
or account of personal bias or prejudice,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties
execute the duties
of my office
of my office
as the Lieutenant of Police
as the Lieutenant of Police
to the best of my skills,
to the best of my skill,
abilities, and judgment,
abilities, and judgment.
so help me God.
So help me God. You need to hold it for
Yeah, just
one?
okay. Hold on. Thank you. Safe trip back.
Okay. Kim, are all of our postings in order for tonight's meeting?
Yes, they are.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
The only thing I would add is in the minutes, I don't know if we need to include the communications committee minutes approval. We have the planning
Oh,
commission.
as stated, because they are in the packet, correct?
Right,
Yes, we could add that to the agenda because it is in the packet.
And it's a town committee, so.
right.
This special meeting, does that fall under that?
Well,
Well, we specify the planning commission.
yeah. The notes are in here.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the agenda.
All right, anything else? Anyone?
I have no changes.
All right, if not, a motion to approve.
I move we approve the town board meeting agenda for January 9th with the amendment of including communications committee meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Okay, now we have one, two meeting minutes. first one is the Plan Commission from December 7th. And the only thing I noticed was on the third page, second paragraph, where it talks about the residents have access to Shoreline Road. Probably I should say South Shore Drive, is that Bill?
That would be clear, yes.
Okay, South Shore Drive.
I have several changes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some more.
You have more?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, second page, conditional use permit. Applicant does not have the other option of loading 100 pounds of fill.
Item 3 or item 4, Chuck?
Pardon me?
Item 3 or item 4?
Item 3,
Okay.
middle of the paragraph. 100 pounds, I believe that'd be 100 cubic yards. Probably
Yes.
100 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, and then, actually throughout the thing, we kind of spell Commissioner Seeley's name a couple different ways, and circled a couple.
It's 2 L's.
It's 2L, number 5, the motion, Commissioner Seeley, there should be 2 L's there. I thought I seen it over there. Okay, that's all I had. What do you have?
Okay, on page 1, item number 1. I'm confused because it says motion by Commissioner Wooker, seconded by Commissioner Denhart to approve November 2nd, 2022 minutes as presented. Then it says seconded by Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, it's an extra.
Yeah.
Strike the seconded by Gordon.
Okay.
She sits next to me.
On page 2, item 3, second line from the bottom. Applicant stated that the structure would not come near taller, should be near,
Taller.
The
near,
Be near.
Not be taller than the trees, maybe.
thank you, I have B in there, could not be, come close to being taller,
So what, should I come in here?
yeah.
Yes.
On page 3, in the second paragraph, starting with the applicant, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down, throughout should be one word. Then moving down to number 5, probably about the 8th line down, says driveway between the two parcels so that in the event, should be event and not even.
Yes.
Going down another 5 lines, Commissioner Wooker asked how much of the southern should be, eliminate the space between
Yes,
south and Earn. And I had Seeley with 2 L's there too. And that does it for this.
Okay, one other item in 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line down. Current driveway does not allow access to the farm equipment due to tree growth, holes and ditch. I believe that's probably hills and ditch. Hills? Hills.
Yes.
Okay. And you caught the other one. Okay, anybody else?
The last page, number 6.
Yep.
For both the second and third line, raised is not R-A-I-S-E-D, it refers to the destruction, so it's R-A-Z-E-D.
Gotcha.
I think if there are no other corrections, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes for the planning commission of December 7th as corrected.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carried. All right, and then we have special town board meeting on December 12th. I'll do this one separately because I think we should note on this, we did note on the regular meeting that Supervisor Wales and Reyes were excused. They also were excused from this meeting. So I believe on the top of that, it should say Supervisor Reyes and Wales excused. All I had on that. Anybody else?
I had no changes.
This is the December 12th special time.
December 12th special meeting.
Yep.
Okay, motion then to approve.
I move we approve the special town board meeting minutes for December 12th at 6 p.m.
Second.
As amended.
as amended. Sorry,
Okay.
thank you, Jim.
Motion and second as amended.
Yes.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Okay, then we have a regular board meeting from December 12th. And I got a couple of changes here. Page 2, on the police report, bullet on the bottom of the page. An update on the Walworth County Radio Project, just strike the D. Updated. Next page, fourth bullet down under Kent Moon. It says Supervisor Church, I believe it should be Supervisor Church. We made the motion to approve and seconded by Supervisor Walker.
Oh,
So
motion.
I have to get the motion by Barb. And then on page 3, that's it one.
They're numbered at the bottom.
Okay, page 4, Park Committee, Park Committee report. I just, in there we just say Jen and Todd. I think we should probably put some last names in there, because we don't identify them anywhere else, so Jen Olson, Todd Shield, and Gene Wills.
Also, the decorations were off Facebook Marketplace.
From, I think from would be better,
From,
Instead of of.
correct.
okay.
Or I think it was, I had meant to put on, finding some decorations on Facebook Marketplace,
Okay.
from.
Okay, and then that's all I had. For some reason on page 5, under public comments, there's a line that appears to have been put in, or was on paper, and scanned it possibly.
Yeah, I don't know what that's from. I'll see if I can edit that one.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like a.
We thought it was from the printer. Right,
it could be.
right.
I assumed it was.
But I guess I'm not clear why unfinished business is there under public comments and then again down below. Why does it say number 9, unfinished business under
That's
public
because
comment?
I just added in the agenda item that was requested to be tabled. Agenda item 9A table, so I put what that agenda item was. I can strike that.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying, Michelle?
Where does it say that it was tabled?
Right above it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was his request.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So I was just stating, and I clipped it right out of the agenda so that it was
Okay.
exactly the item that he was requesting be tabled. So I can strike that if you guys would like me to, or I can leave it
Or
in.
just indent it a
Okay,
little bit
sure.
more, maybe,
You betcha.
or something?
Yeah,
Just
make it look a
confusing.
little,
It was, since I wasn't there. yeah.
no, that's fine.
Okay, that's all I had. Anybody else?
I saw no other correct.
5 pages. Nothing else? Okay, no bill. All right, get a motion to approve the December 12th official board meeting minutes.
I make a motion
As
that we
amended.
approve the Town of East Troy official board meeting minutes for Monday, December 12th as amended.
Second.
All right, motion second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right. Then we have communications committee, and do you see anything on there?
Oh, wasn't this page 6 part of the December 12th minutes as well? I'm sorry, I missed that page, I did have one other thing. Under new business, it says, on the first thing up there, it says seconded by Supervisor Wales, but I don't think you were at the meeting.
Well, new business.
Booker.
No,
Oh,
it just says we,
That's,
A motion by Supervisor Church, second by Supervisor Wales.
let's see.
To authorize Attorney Mills to review the document.
To authorize Attorney Mills to do it.
I think it would be Booker.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will add that.
Yep,
I'll make that correction.
Good catch, Michelle.
all right, and then,
And then I didn't know, under special and pending meetings, it included the meetings of December 12th. What we normally, I mean, that was
it's the same day as
already,
this meeting.
yeah. I mean, it just surprised me that it was on there, but we don't have to, it's not.
All right, I think since we've amended the
Yeah.
meeting minutes, I'll make a motion that the further amendment on page 6 be approved. Do you have a second?
Second.
Barb, second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carries. Okay, now we're at the communications committee, and this is what you submitted.
Right.
Is it okay?
Yep, the committee had reviewed it and didn't have any edits.
Okay.
I want to make one question. You have all three committee members. I was wondering if we should put the names in there?
Oh, then,
Because if this
Okay.
goes in the minutes book, it should list
Who
who's
was
there.
there?
Okay.
And then the last name thing again should carry through.
correct. Okay, so the change would be to add the names in the first bullet of who was there.
Would be
And who
Liz
would those be?
Better.
Barb Church, myself, and Leah Vitar.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll make, so then if the names are up there, we probably don't have to put the last names in all the meeting, in all the notes, right?
Yeah, if you haven't identified at the top. 'Cause
Right.
You're saying the rest of them just say first name.
Just, yeah.
Except for Tate.
Okay.
And
Right.
I can, okay, but take, I need to specify, take the town IT consultant? Okay.
Kabaka.
Yeah.
K-A-H-A-B-K-A. A-H-A-B-K-A.
Well, we're gonna say town IT or we're gonna say his name?
That says Tate.
Okay. So I make a motion to approve the Communications Committee December 19th meeting minutes as amended.
Second.
All right. Motion second to approve the minutes as amended for the communications committee from December 19th. Any further discussion? Yes.
Michelle's or Jen's last name is S-O-N.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Okay. I believe. Let's see. The rest of these are just, for today's.
Reports.
for today's meeting. Okay, so that's it for approval of meeting minutes. Okay, treasurer's report. Kim.
Treasurer's report for December 2022. Total receipts were $29,913.85. Transfers for December were $236,000. Interest earned was $207.27. Balance as of November 30th was $23,268.02. Total funds for December were $289,389.14. Checks paid in December were $269,224.38, leaving a balance of $20,164.76 in the general checking account. We also had tax collections up until June 30th of $5,338,732.02, which was only about 37% of what we had collected. We still have a ways to go.
And then you do like a 3-month budget to actual, right?
When the month
So
is,
that'll be.
I got the bank statements at 2:00 today.
Okay.
Therefore, December accounting is definitely not complete.
Right.
So,
So
but
that
you will
would be-
get that probably at the February meeting.
Okay, as part of the packet.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions for the treasurer's report? Okay, the motion.
I move that we accept the Town of East Troy Treasurer's Report for the month of December 2022 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carried. Nothing else from you, Kim? You're good? Kim, you good?
Yep.
Nothing else? Okay. All right, chairperson's report. On December 23rd, had a meeting with the Tri-Troy Alliance. And by the way, Matt Johnson did sit in, because he'll be taking over for Scott Seeger from April. We discussed the school referendum, we discussed the Tri-Troy library agreement and how we get that thing off of dead center. Problem is we need to get a high-powered committee to get an answer from the library alliance, if you wanna call it that, on how they come up with their formula, because nobody can understand it, so nothing else happened on there. We did have a discussion on trails. As you know, years back, myself and Mary back there's been oodles and oodles of hours on a trail between the village of East Troy and the village of McGuanago going through the town. We got pretty far along the way. We even had agreements between the three municipalities to go ahead, but we could not get a buy-in from Walworth County or Waukesha County because they both wanted to know final numbers, of which we couldn't get. What's changed since then is there's more funding mechanisms out there, number one. And number two, part of the Trent Tube, I believe, lands in the village of East Troy, which would be an integral part of the trail system within the village. We probably the terminus, the farthest west end, have approached the Railroad Museum and the village about reacting to that. So we're gonna have a meeting, I don't have the dates yet. The announcement I got for the meeting date, I couldn't open up the calendar program. Did you get one too, Mary, or no? You didn't get one on that, no? But anyway, there was a meeting coming up on that. Also, coming up here on the 19th, which so from now I'll be chairing the Towns Association Tri-County meeting in Waterford, as we're seeing Walworth and Kenosha Counties Towns Association. And then we also have some training coming up, I believe in February, and I gave a handout to Kim, and she'll probably bring that up during future meetings to see who's going to that. It's in Whitewater on a Saturday, pretty much all day. And then also, and it's not on the agenda because we're not gonna act on it yet, I did get the state municipal agreement from the DOT for the Highway 20 project in the village. And in order for us to sign that agreement, we need to have an agreement signed with the village, and we don't have that yet. When we get that, we could sign this, and I'm hoping that the way this timing comes out, that possibly one of these special meetings we may have to roll this in. There's kind of a month or two deadline coming on this. I didn't get a specific answer yet from the DOT, but they'd probably like it sooner than later, like a month. So that's gonna be coming up also, and when we get that, it'll probably be part of one of our special meetings. So that's all I have for meeting reports. Okay, Public Works, Todd?
Everybody received copies of my report, correct? Any questions on it? Okay. I did one new follow-up for cost of snow plowing on our private roads. And this is as all the equipment that is used, right down to what it costs to put a plow on a truck. This is right, as it is, right from the DOT.
So that's what, when it says plow blade, I mean, that's a question,
That's
that's
the-
installing it.
No, that's the cost to use that blade. and the cost to use the tailgate spreader, the
Okay,
cost of the truck.
okay. So where is it, like the time that you use to mount, or like maintain the equipment? and
That
kind of
breaks
stuff?
down in that with the maintenance and depreciation
Okay.
in the last line, yeah. And this is all right, I get it in January, I'm probably getting a new one soon. DOT comes out with their chargeback rates for everything from I think all the way down to a screwdriver probably. They have, it's like 15 pages with all the equipment, chippers, wheel loaders, graders, you name it, it's all in there. So this is right from the state DOT, and that's why it comes up to, for each plowing event per private, on private roads is $457.98. And you divide that by the 259 households, comes down to $1.77 per household per plow. I mean, I try figuring everything that I can find to put in there.
I think, yeah.
And within the last, I've been keeping records now for the last 3-4 years, our average plowings for the last couple of years have been 22, 23 plows a year. So that $35 we're charging without us making money should cover it.
The only exception I know when you have the plowing time at $25 an hour,
That's,
that's probably just like the hourly rate, not fully.
yeah, because
rated.
we have one of our part-timers runs the smaller truck, so he's not at the rate that we're at. He's at $25 an hour.
So then
But-
is it labor
but
with
we-
other people?
But we're publishing our chargeback rates at 45 plus in our,
But those are for the full-time people, not the
Right.
part-time
This is the
people.
part-time.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
With benefits and stuff. They don't get
yeah.
benefits.
Okay.
So the
I mean,
$25.
can we document that, I mean,
Listen.
if someone asks, we can show them that really it's only the part-time guy that does the private roads.
You should probably list that in here.
Okay.
Yep. As well, gotta remember now, this is gonna be a living document, so as, costs change, this will change. And what we're gonna do at budget time, so it's enough time for him to know what it's gonna be for the special assessment on these 259 addresses. We're gonna use I thought a 3-year running average, but how much, you said 22, 23, how many years worth of documentation do you have on it?
I have 3 years.
You have 3 years. So by the time we get to this fall, will you have 4 years? Or-
Yeah, around 4 years.
Okay, so we're gonna use then a 4-year running average, and then a year later, probably use a 5-year running average. I don't know if we wanna go beyond that, but that would be something that we would talk during budget time. So right now, we have this is for 22 to 23 events, is a 3-year running average.
Yeah, because I know you said we already did 9
Mhm.
in December.
Yep.
So that would leave like 10 more based on this rate. Although December probably counts in 2022. So I don't know how we
It's
do it for
the
the
22,
season.
23.
We do, okay,
Season.
we did it the season.
Yeah, it's the following season.
So it seems like,
13 left if you're at 22, right?
well, this
Yep.
$35 works out to actually like 20.
19.77.
Yeah, 19.77. And we already used 9, and that doesn't count January, February, March. We
Have
can
you
even
done
do
any
some
in
April.
January yet?
No, we have not done any in January yet.
So,
Yeah, we've only been a week in January.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be sure everybody's on the same page here. All the other rates you have in here, that includes the labor.
Yes.
Okay, the only one you have specially called out is the plowing time, where that's a part-time guy, that's why that's listed at the 25.
Yes,
That's correct.
yes.
All right, so, okay.
There was also a question that we're only doing some private roads, not all private roads. Is that correct?
Correct. There is a handful of private roads that they don't want our service. The ones off of, there's some off of, Stone School, I know, Breezy,
Oh, yeah.
Grassy. I mean, I don't have the list right in front of
and
me.
I think because they have their private airstrip, they don't want the salt
Yep.
to affect the planes,
Yeah.
and that's why they're not plowed.
And then there's a couple that are just a regular gravel road with, Casao is one off of Honey Creek Road,
And that's
which
a
is a gravel
driveway.
road, that's more a driveway, but it's listed as,
But we wouldn't typically plow something like that, right, unless it's paved?
well, we have one Lucy Lane, but 9 times out of 10, unless we have 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, the plow doesn't even go down it.
Right. Well, it's a good segue then. I'm handing out to you folks a copy of the latest on the Town of East Troy roads. I've been working on this for at least 5 years. Looking at 170 years of records takes time. I'm 3/4 of the way done. What I handed out to you here shows in red the change I just made today. Okay, for instance, Dannon Lane was one of the questions, oh, that's a private road. No, it's not even a private road, it's a driveway, okay? And it was a perpetual easement for ingress and egress, okay? It's a driveway, okay, so it's not even a road. First Avenue and Second Street, those are 2 roads there by Lindy's. We're gonna be adding those to our mileage chart for next year. It's only 11/100ths of a mile, but we gotta get that on there. And then the last one is Leppy Lane. That was a question, you say, well, that's a private road. No, it's not. It's a ingress and egress easement only. It's a private driveway to one residence of 40 acres back in the woods. Okay, so that's not a road either. So a lot of these questions that were brought up.
Like on Coastal Drive, we don't even have addresses that are Coastal Drive. They have Honey
Honey
Creek
Creek.
Road addresses. So-
Right.
And we don't have Leppy Lane address either.
Yeah, however, they came up with the name of like that Castle Drive. It wasn't the town that did it.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Steve.
So, and again, this document I'm giving you here, started out as, just all town roads, but as I know, when questions came up on some of these, you'll notice on here where it says where, town board action gave an affirmation that this road is private. One of them, what is that one road where that patch of concrete was? Did you
West
understand?
Bay.
What's it called, West Bay?
West Bay.
Look on West Bay there, and you'll notice the last page, it says there was a resolution 90-9, affirmation of West Bay Drive as a private road, okay? And it actually was since 1973, but we did the resolution in 1990. So again, that's a private road, but some of these were just easements. They're not even a road, they're not even a private road, they're not a town road, they're not a private road, they're a driveway, okay? So I'll be adding some more of those on here, because I see that those questions come up. Again, this is meant to be a living document, so I'm gonna keep working on this, so. Okay, so, back to your.
Have
Yeah.
those easements and driveways been brought to the attention of Mr. Ken Zest? Is he-
Yeah, I responded to him on, Leppy Lane, and I don't even know if he asked specifically on Dannon Lane. I think that came to you or to Ken, somebody mentioned.
Yeah, he had a list one day.
Yeah, he had a list of like 7, 8 roads, they're not roads, they're not private roads, they're driveways, or they're easements.
I think the only one that was on there that was Sawyer Lane, but part of that's ours, part of it's private.
And to follow up with all of this, we are gonna be authorizing Attorney Mills, to look at the snow plowing contract that kind of ties into what we have over here. So, this is a living deal, we're gonna do our due diligence, we're gonna make sure it's right. If we have, a 3-year running average, probably we'll have a 4-year running average when we do the numbers this fall. I think that's gonna be as fair as it can be. Again, we shouldn't make money, we shouldn't lose money, and this is a service, to our town residents,
Do we have an obligation to plow those roads in order for them to be serviced effectively by police, fire, and EMS?
That's a good question. We know how good our snow plowing is, and when our regular roads are plowed, so are these private roads. That's ensuring access for fire and rescue right there,
Right, and police?
and police. Okay, so that kinda is a thing in that favor, okay? In all,
I don't think we can assume that if they hired a private contractor, we would not have that. If they
No,
were
no.
expected to hire their
No.
own private, because it's a private road. Yeah, I don't think we can assume that it would only be serviceable if we plow it.
I wasn't making
Yeah.
that assumption.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
just saying that it needed to be plowed in order to effectively get the best service from police, fire, and EMS. And to make sure that those vehicles have the least amount of damage done to them because the road is plowed.
And we also, when some of these roads get to a point where we're falling apart, and if, guys can't plow the road, or the fire chief says, I'm not taking my equipment down there anymore, then all the people on that private road get the notice saying, hey, you better fix this thing, or, you know.
As Bob knows very well.
Right. So that's kind of how it works, it all ties together. What I'm getting at though is that Attorney Mills is gonna be looking at this, the contracting part of this, and make sure that we already have our, the legal advice was given to us. Normally, that's not shared with the world, since all the questions were coming up on it. Last month, we actually put that in our packet. I don't know if that was a good thing or not.
I was wondering how that got on there.
Yeah, there was a discussion, Kim was getting a lot of questions on, it. I think Dean, you too, did probably. And we said, okay, let's just cut this right to the quick. Just put it on there and be done with it. And we did. Like I say, I'm having second doubts about doing that because in effect, our town attorney is giving legal advice to the board.
Well, it's no longer confidential either.
And
It's
it
what?
wasn't-
Once it's shared, it's
Yeah.
no longer confidential.
Right.
Right.
And that memo wasn't marked as confidential.
No, but Jim normally doesn't mark his, well, you do.
Yeah.
On letters, I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
on letters, on that. So I guess what I'm getting at here is this, we're kind of done for this now, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna study this until we make sure that everything is good, okay? We do know how it's gonna work for costs, okay? We do know what roads we do and what roads we're not. I did add those two driveways on here, just so we know that they are driveways and not roads. And then we'll have that 4-year running average come budget time, and I think we'll have a fair, good number that nobody can argue with, I would think.
Well, and another reason why I'm asking for authorization later is not only can we firm up liability and protection issues, but since we're adding things on to a tax bill, if the Department of Revenue would ever ask, it'd be nice to have a piece of paper that we can tie to a specific property.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, well, and overall, I think I appreciate Mr. Zesch bringing this up, because I think it is something that we should be documenting, how we calculate it, why we're doing this. I think it's a good due diligence for us to go through and make sure that it's an annual review during the budget process, because I think we probably kind of glazed over it, the past couple of years, because it's just kind of something that we've always done. So I think this was a very good exercise. Thank you, Todd, for putting in the time. And I think, yeah, this kind of document should be included with the budget every year.
Yeah, and again,
And I
we-
think, like we said, we have to follow up on contracts and in one of our special meetings, make sure that we're all
Yeah.
good with this.
Yeah, and again, how long was Greg here? How many years? 30, 40?
41.
41, and he says, and he's been gone a year or two, so it's been at least 45 years that this has been occurring, okay? And every year that at least I've been in the budget time, and Kim even longer than I did, is looked at, discussed, okay, is that number right, okay? And normally Greg would look at it, and say, here's where we're at, it's close.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more data now to prove that, yeah, we're close, right?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, 10 years ago probably, something, maybe Kim, that we actually changed it from, I think it was 25 to
It was
30.
25,
Yeah.
35.
That was one
It
of
has gone
the
up.
last resolution I
2016.
drafted
Yeah.
that does mention contracts,
Yeah.
but that
So I
was
think we should
copied right
clean that
from
up.
statute.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 2016,
It's the
And
same as the
2008.
previous, the 2008 budget, resolution also. So the 2016 is kind of copied over.
It's just a price change.
Yeah.
yes, yes, so, okay, I think we're good.
May I ask a
Sure.
question of you, Kim, Todd, if any of the 259 households, presumably tax-paying households, any comments from them, have they caught wind of the discussion?
Not that I've heard.
And I think they're extremely grateful that the town does provide the service.
at a very
I don't think
reasonable
they want to know
cost.
what a private contractor would charge for doing it.
Private contractor would be quite something.
And I don't
They're
think,
not-
I
it's
don't
not
think
gonna
they would
be
get the
the-
service as quick as we do. The private contractors are gonna come out when they get all their other stuff done and,
It's not gonna be $1.77 per address per plow.
no. It'd be more
One
like
thing I know
177.
on this, you know.
Yeah.
Can Bob can attest to the fact that how are you gonna get 52 residents on a street to agree to a vendor for that?
And then,
And sign on their contract and pay their portion?
Well,
I
Mr.
can't-
Ted Zest is accusing us of thwarting.
Ken.
Ken, sorry, I apologize, Mr. Ken Zest is accusing us of thwarting free enterprise and obstructing what private contractors could do. And I think our due diligence here proves that to be incorrect. Following law, be reasonable, provide a public service. My only concern is, will we include his, as he requested, his Saturday, January 7th email asking for this,
In the
his
public comments.
comment to be included?
I think the public comments will be included in the record. And actually, I'm going to read the conclusion, and I'm going to give that to Attorney Mills, because he should also check that when he does his deal on contracts. Okay, and you already addressed the need, what are the two functions on there?
Responsibility.
Responsibility.
Yeah, ability and responsibility, and Jim already addressed that, but we can look at it again, so.
Thank you.
And, matter of fact, since Jim was not copied on that email, I think I'll give it to him right now.
Do you have a copy to read, or I can?
No, that's the email, it's not the, oh, wait, is that the?
Right, the.
Oh, yeah,
authorization
I'll
is down
pass it
here.
on later.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Ken Zest does understand that even though he addresses all five of us, we can't engage him.
Well, the
I told him
research
that,
should be everything
I told him
else.
that, and actually,
So the
That was his
authorization
point,
include
huh?
that.
yes, and that was, you had one to him,
Right,
that's fine. You can respond, any board
As
member
long
can
as we don't
respond to
respond to all.
anybody, so respond to all. And that was, that accusation of illegal meeting, which we know didn't occur. It's not, it wasn't a meeting, you know, so.
This is the one you're trying to pass, did you?
Yeah,
I
I'm
have an
gonna-
extra one.
You have an extra one? Okay. Okay. so this
thank
one.
you.
Okay, any other questions for Todd?
Thank you.
Just on the furnace in the DPW and needing another one, was that part of the budget?
It was not, but we still had money in our shop.
For
shop fund.
2022?
Yeah, for 2022 for replacement of that, and
Okay.
hopefully, we don't have as many major repairs on plow trucks this year as we did last year.
How old were those furnaces?
42 years old.
42.
Yeah.
And one went to hell, so we replaced that, and then when we looked at the other ones,
Yeah, they looked at the heat exchanger on the other one and it's cracked, so,
yeah, so, get it done.
and that's actually gonna be getting done on the 16th, replacing that one too.
Okay,
Thank you.
That comes out of the 2023 budget, that one.
all right. Police report, Chief Director.
I gave everybody a copy of the CAT summary report for the month of December. The police department responded to 513 calls for service. And then the second that I gave you was for the entire year of 2022, in which the police department responded to 9,644 calls for service. And that summarizes the year. No homicides that we had. Can report, I just spoke with Detective Lago from the Sheriff's Office. The Hive Winery in our township was burglarized, and we were able to produce a suspect. Detective Lago did some excellent follow-up work. and we have full confessions on that case, so that case is closed.
Great.
So, that was something of note. Right after I got here shortly, I believe that was late October, early November, and I talked with him right after Christmas, and he has a suspect interviewed her, and she gave a full confession, so.
Local?
No, not local.
And I take it now with our swearing in, we're up to full.
Yes, as of tonight, we have 6 full-time police officers. Although Jeremy is not on his own, he's still in field training. He started week 2, he's working with Officer Pavlich. It should be noted, he spent a significant amount of time on his own, spending his own gas and resources to drive around the township. I would put him up against Todd, that he knows the township and roads as good as Todd does. He,
Wow, that's something there, Todd.
he did spend a significant amount of time, both Lieutenant Runge and myself rode with him and bring up a road, Potter Circle, and he's like, oh, that's off Miramar, right? Da, 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 da. And I did not expect that he would know where Potter Circle was to save his life, and he did. So that's a credit to him and the type of person that he is. So we look to have great things from Jeremy, our newest officer. So that's pretty good news.
Sharp young mind.
On that note, to report a little bit of bad news, not terrible. The 4 people that we gave conditional offers to, background packets went out and letters for them to sign. I've heard back from one, Lisa Copeland. She is with the DEA. She is excited to be here. Scott Hannon has declined the position, and I have not heard from Aaron or from Patrick. So they have until the 17th to return their acceptance letter and the information I need to start a background investigation. So I've heard from 2, had 1 decline. I understand why Scott declined. He works full-time for Lynn Township. He's got some other things. Lives down in the town of Sharon, so it would be a significant drive for him just to pick up a shift here or a shift there or work the boat in the summer. So I didn't necessarily fault him for sending me that email. I was a little disappointed though, because he could really kind of hit the road running, and if he knew the roads as well as Jeremy, I would have no problems.
Just a comment, Ms. Chairman, I hope I'm not gonna embarrass the chief on this, but I know we hired a working police chief, and Sunday night, I think it was December 25th, about 8 o'clock at night, I had a very nice visit with the police chief on Wolf Way where I live.
Yep.
He was working, doing house checks, Christmas Eve night.
Way to go.
Thank you.
For Law Enforcement Recognition Day, my hat's off to you.
Thanks.
For doing such a great job.
Appreciate that.
All right, any other questions from the police? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, East Troy Area Emergency Services District report.
Any questions?
They met all their deadlines with radio.
Our order was in.
One question, why does Chief DeGarle keep calling himself interim chief?
Because until he passes the state statute test,
That, when does that do?
I
Proposed?
believe he's looking to, he finished the class in December. I believe the test for the state is sometime in January.
Okay, so until he gets that piece of paper, he cannot be called chief.
Technically.
Okay, all right. I think that's what you
I am remiss because I often just call him chief.
said. Yeah, well,
He's doing the job and very effective.
I had no questions on the report. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, we good?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, park committee report.
Actually, I do have an update since the agenda was published. I have a volunteer to partner with me on the park committee. So we may need to amend our appointment.
Amend the amend?
Yes. Actually, Mr. Kenzes has offered and volunteered to work on the parks committee. And I have a hard time turning away volunteers. I talked to Joe tonight.
Okay. We're gonna, when we get to resolution 2023-01, we'll have that discussion. I don't think there's a problem with doing that, but make sure that we're legal because we posted without it, but I don't, these are appointments. So when we get to that one, we can address that.
Yeah, that would have to go on next month.
Okay. Okay, so we do another one.
Or just table this one until.
Well,
or no,
well.
we don't wanna wait, yeah.
You're
We
gonna
want
have.
to
Yeah.
add.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
do that.
So that they can recall.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, anything else on your report?
No.
Okay.
Michelle, could I ask you a question, the last bullet point, the intent for the January 16th
Oh,
meeting?
we're still on the parks committee, not the communications
Sorry.
committee yet.
Well, I have a question then, Joe, with the resolutions, I'm a little confused with committees. When is the annual, is there an annual month, and is it May?
May.
So,
May.
all right. So any appointment and confirmation is good until the end of April of a
Correct.
calendar year.
Correct. And then we do another one. Correct.
And as the chair, you can simply not renew, because there's really no way of renewing other than,
But it'd be a new name or no name, or, yes, that's correct.
right,
There'd be a new slate of everybody, because I have to talk to everybody, make sure they still wanna do another year, okay? The plan commission goes on a rollover, but then you'd have to ask the people that are up, you know, if they wanna, you know, take another term. One that you'll have to do on the plan commission.
yes.
But yes, that's correct. That's correct. But,
And the only way a member can be rescinded from a committee is by unanimous vote of the
That
board.
is what our ordinance said, I believe, yes.
I don't recall offhand, I'd have to look
I
at it.
believe that's what it reads. Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
okay. Okay, now we're ready for communications committee. I see the top of it, but
Are we,
let's-
are we going on the
Booth Lake.
agenda? Booth Lake.
Okay, that's this piece of paper, okay.
Yeah, just, I was saving.
All right, you're right. Okay, so, we're done with parks, so Booth Lake, Memorial Park report, Chad?
Yeah, all of, it's pretty much the same as what I read in the minutes that I wasn't here last month. You know, they're still in the process of remodeling the concession in the house. They do have the, ice skating rinks up, I'm assuming with some of this weather that it got pretty warm, so I don't know how much, it had been used or if they got a chance to use it, but,
They did use it, when it was cold.
yeah, I was out of town when it was cold, and when it's been warm, there hasn't been anybody, so.
And I was at Elkhorn today, and the Elkhorn went in there, on their, square, grass,
Yeah,
melted and sank in. So
Yeah.
we filled that.
Bonnie Marath, who is our new supervisor, she stopped in and asked for extra patrols because someone broke in, got into the park and cracked the ice this last weekend.
How do you correct
So
that?
they wanna have, I don't know how you crack the ice, but they cracked something with the rink. So I talked to the chief and Gene put in a service and there'll be more patrols, fire department up there, which is unfortunate, so.
yeah, I mean, we had our last meeting that we had, I've heard nothing but great things, people excited, a lot of ice skates on Christmas lists, you know, people were looking forward to it, so I'm hoping that is a one-time only deal, because, community's excited, so.
And it's January, and we're in the thirties every day here, and it's a little unusual.
Right.
So, it's coming. Good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
No,
We
that's-
good? Okay. All right, Lake Beulah Management District report. Greg, anything?
I don't have a report.
Okay. Recycling Committee, no report. Library report. And the written notes from Christina. dated December 13th. One, board approved the material selection policy and materials reconsideration policy. Policies are scheduled on the website. To be searchable on the website. Number two, board voted to accept the Good Earth Award donation of $500 to be used for the youth project. Board approved the director to explore a chairlift for the library in regards to cost and ADA compliance. Library employees have passed their probationary period and will receive a cost of living increase on January 1st, 2023. Village compensation board must approve for a library. So that's the report from Christina. Okay, communications report.
I have a question before you start. Was it your intention to add people to this committee tonight?
Yeah.
I think that's gonna have to be tabled till next month with the other person, because the town chair is doing official business, and I don't see that it's listed, is it?
You have resolution
Yeah, resolution to amend.
10D.
Oh, it's down here.
Yeah,
Yes,
you did.
new
Okay.
business.
Understood.
For next month, put the names in.
Well, the whole document's in there.
Yeah, in the packet.
The whole package should have had the,
Yep.
Right, but the agenda itself has to be specific enough to let people know
what the
in
changes
case they
are.
want to appear.
Oh, Joe's here.
They don't always print off the packet. The agenda itself has to be
I hear you.
specifically
Okay.
precise enough to
And
allow
you
that.
should
yeah.
tell
So-
me that when I send it to you for approval.
I didn't know until I printed the packet today and saw the
Okay.
committee notes.
All right, well, we'll get to that, we'll have that discussion. Okay, communications committee?
Yeah, I guess the report is there. Obviously, everyone should have gotten their newsletter. The addition of the 2 new members in that resolution. And then I also included an initial draft of our social media plan for 2023. And again, this is a living document that'll always be changing and updated. We started with ideas for each month of things to post on social media, so, if there's any additions or questions or other ideas, we're certainly open to that. Like you said, it'll be growing as we learn more.
I do have one question on the last bullet. I know you're gonna be taking off on the logo, mission vision statement. We know this is gonna eventually come down to a consultant that does this for a living,
With the board.
meeting with the board and possibly also any public members that want to come, so it'll be a public meeting, to specifically go over that specific item, logo, mission, vision. We started down that path about 2 years ago, with the pictures. We had the school actually start with the logo. We didn't go too far on the mission and vision, even though we identified it in the communications plan. We said, okay, it's in the communications plan, but our main push on the ad hoc committee was the live streaming, the website, the newsletters. This was mentioned, so this is the next step, the next obvious step.
Right. And the ad hoc committee recommended using a consultant and the
Right.
town board leading the activity.
Do you have any idea how much that's gonna cost?
No,
That's what we're gonna find out. Yep. We're gonna get, I know Bill had
It's
one,
my tax date here, dollars too, you know.
that's why we're gonna find out, yeah.
yeah, and I don't
Based on
really
the
have
ARPA
a,
funds that are left in.
yeah, an idea on it. What it really is these people, and I worked with several of these in the past, but they were more in the big business world, if you wanna call it that. But they're a facilitator,
Right.
okay?
Yep.
They basically lead the discussion. They drag the input out of you whether you want it or not, or want to give it or not, okay? It's almost like a SWOT type situation where, you know, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, Mr. T.
Threat.
Hmm?
Threat.
Threats, yeah. This one is on the same basis. It's basically a structured deal where a leader drags you through the process. And it's really I mean, we have a start on it because we kind of know based on our smart growth plan, we have a statement right in there, obviously. We have some ideas of what maybe some of the logos could look like. So we're not starting this from dead ground zero,
Right.
but, you know, what we end up with maybe very foreign to, you know, what we think it's gonna be. That's the adventure, is, it's a first to do it, so, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't have any other questions on communication.
I do have a concern, and I do believe that the vision, logo, and mission part is the duty of the board. I think, Michelle, you're saying that too.
Yep.
I do remember when we had our ad hoc committee, it'll be 2 summers ago now, and Bob and John were there. I know at one point we were brought the idea of vision statement, mission statement, and we just said, we can't do that. I really do believe that that is a board responsibility. And if I could use a triangle image, I think the vision and mission are at the pinnacle of that triangle image, because they set the vision, they set the touchstone for how this town will be operating. After that, I think there's strategic plan needs, there's goals and objective needs, and then foundational to that is another item we're gonna discuss, and that's gonna be performance evaluations. So I think foundationally, job descriptions, performance evaluations, the budget are the rock on which the organization settles. So for that reason, I really do believe that this is not in the privy of the communication committee. Although, are you saying just finding consultants so we can get numbers and ideas? Is that the
Yeah, and a recommendation on, yep,
Who to
consultants,
hire?
yeah.
But then
Mhm.
the board and. you.
Presenting the top 3 or 5, or, you know, and the budgets.
But anybody could propose concepts here. Okay. Good, thanks.
Anything else? All right,
Well, congrats, the newsletter's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay.
Thanks for the feedback on the December meeting.
Good. Planning commission report,
We do have one.
we do have
Just,
one.
turn the page here, sorry. So we had one item before us, and I do need to point out a couple of typos, which you guys are fantastic proofreaders. Again, we've misspelled Mr. Sully's name, and there's conforming, on second to last line, confirmation, I didn't catch confirmation. And also, there's a motion in the second, but it was unanimously passed. So what I'm proposing the board to approve, which the planning commission unanimously approved, was a land separation CSM request at North 8356 Weber Lane in East Troy, parcel number PET 2300005, section 23. In essence, the owner wishes to divide his property into 2 portions. And first of all, the sizes required for that allocation are conforming to requirements. There's an issue of access on Weber Lane, which has been addressed in the proposal. And
To that
oh,
point.
and the appropriate setbacks have all been met. So with that presentation, there were no, while the owner and his son were there, no one spoke in favor, nobody spoke against. And after robust questioning, motion was made and seconded to approve. So I'm making a motion to approve this creation of 2 lots based on the CSM request land separation prepared by Mike Reeson from V2G.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion, the only thing I'll add is, near the bottom where it says Weber Road, Weber is 1B. I guess just to have the record correct on that.
And there we're calling it Weber Road, and in the top we call it Weber Lane.
It's Weber Road. During my official chart here.
Is it Langley?
Weber Lane.
Oh,
Weber Lane. And that was through a lot of research too. Okay, any other questions on this before we vote? Hearing none, on motion, all in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries to approve that GSM. Right, thank you. All right, public comments period number one.
Chairman, can I come back?
Yes,
I forgot. Earlier this month, the local Masons donated to the police department a fire safety tool, and long and short what it is, it looks like an AED, it's slightly heavier and oversized. You pull the pin on it, and if you have a room and contents fire, you could throw this device through the window, and it emits chemicals that are not harmful to human beings. So if there was somebody in the room, it's a fire suppression tool that extinguishes the fire without taking the oxygen out of the room. It's basically a life safety device, and the Masons donated that to the police department, and I wanted to make the board aware of that in a public forum. So I forgot earlier during my report, and wanted to make sure I got up and let you guys know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to the Masons.
okay, I'm gonna read one public comment first. Ken just did send an email to the board in regard to the snow plowing we just discussed previously here. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it does talk about ability, responsibility of the town. I'll read the conclusion, and then this should be a part of the record of the meeting. Conclusion says, I have come to the realization that unless three members of this board can conclude that the town of East Troy discontinues snow plowing on private and allow private contractors to contract with the service, that my efforts will be for nothing, and that's okay. However, I will monitor your actions, and I, along with hopefully others, will notice how the board proceeds and vote accordingly. Thanks again, Bess. So that will be in the record, and then also Attorney Mills had a copy of this to look at when he does his research also.
Would it be possible for us to get a copy of that?
Actually, you were not copied.
But it has to be part of the official record.
In the minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna just make a note to myself to print it for my file, January 7th.
Or we could forward that. Yeah,
7/29, so.
if you could just forward it, that'd be great.
You want me to do it right now?
That'd be great. Yeah, thanks, Michelle.
Okay, public comments. Yeah.
Want to go first?
I've got a question for the board. You guys have a packet that shows all the public and private roads. Could you guys look at your packet and see how Shorewood Drive is noted in there? For the record?
For the record, Shorewood Drive. Subdivision recorded on 8/31/1925. Plat denotes private,
So it's a private road.
private road.
Okay, excellent. And then as far as the snow plowing and stuff, that was my belief too, is that our road is private. We've got 52 homes on that road that rely on the services for police and fire. I know that 3 times the rescue squad was at a neighbor's house of mine last month. If we were forced to do private contracting, the town has always plowed it, it's always been consistently done, it's reliable. We would not get that same reliability with a private contractor, nor would we get buy-in from all 52 people. There's a lot of seasonal residents on that road, people who go to Florida or south for the winter time. It'd be very difficult to guarantee consistency of the quality of our road. Thank you.
Do they object to paying the $35 if they're in Florida?
No one's objected, not, to the best of my knowledge, I think there's 2 people who have questioned the quality of the service, but everyone is super happy with the way it's been plowed and how it's been done. No one's ever been late for work, no one's ever, complained about it to me, except they want it closer to the mailboxes, they want it further away, just nitpicky stuff.
Yep.
So they've done a really good job, and we thank them for that.
And there's no way that we would get all 52 people to sign a contract to,
Correct, and and we've got 52 people on our road, who's gonna sign the contract? One person's gonna have to be responsible for the whole payment. It's been done through the tax rolls, it's worked out very well. we're willing to pay for those services, we're not asking for something for nothing. One way you guys may consider doing it is keep track of how many events there are in 22 and 23, and then on the 23 taxes, say there were 20 events or 30 events, whatever it is, take that $1.77 times the 30 events from the prior winter, and then roll it in tax. So you're always going forward, not necessarily doing a 5-year look back.
Okay,
So,
excellent. Okay,
Good suggestion, thank you.
John?
Gonna have to-
Right.
I have a couple of questions for the board, if I may.
You guys are familiar with the survey that was done for the town. It was done on 7/28/19 by B2G. You're familiar with that survey?
Where?
The main one, the one that covers East Shore Road?
Actually,
Yep.
right behind you did it.
Okay, is there 2 of those surveys, or is there just one?
Should be just one, right? One, and I forward that to Walworth County.
Okay, well, I have a copy of it here, I have all 3 areas. Is there a reason why the right-of-way isn't depicted off the edge of the road or the center line with a dimension? It's depicted the total width of the right-of-way, but it's not depicted off the edge of the road or off the center of the road. So it's hard to determine where the actual right-of-way is. There's a line there, but there's no numbers.
It's 49.5 feet wide.
Oh, yeah, I got it here,
Equal on each half. You know.
It's constantly changing.
but you can't go out there.
Not
Oh, I
paved.
mean, for the road, the pavement?
It's not paved down the center, so.
Pavement is never in the center.
Right, but what I'm getting is the edge of the road doesn't change unless you repave it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're at the edge of the road where the asphalt stops and the road or the gravel or whatever starts, if you're there and you wanna know where the right of way ends, going into private property, it's not clearly laid out. If you look on the survey here, it's not clearly laid out. It gives you the total width,
Mhm.
but it doesn't give you the dimensions off the right of
Because
the way of the road.
the edge of the road's always changing.
Yeah.
It's not running parallel to that.
Yeah.
So where do you want it marked?
Wherever you take your dimension or measurement from, that's where you mark it. So maybe if you got the whole stretch there, mark it 3 or 4 spots, and if it's off 6 inches or 3 inches either way, if you have to go out there and reference something, you know exactly where you're referencing from.
It's a style thing. It's not something you commonly do.
Okay, but if you're somebody that wants to know where the right-of-way ends and private property begins, it's hard to, I mean, this is a beautiful survey, but it doesn't give you everything to clearly depict where the lines are. Now, if you had a total station, you get all the numbers punched in your computer, you could run out there, put your thing down, hit it, and you know exactly where it is.
How am I supposed to know who wants to see that? Where am I supposed to mark that?
Well,
There's 1,000 of those spots, more than 1,000.
correct, but this was a high-profile area here that was done not that long ago, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, with the new construction of this hotel there, we need to clarify what's what and where's where, because it's not very clear. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
that's all.
here's what I think we're gonna do, and we did discuss this previously, is the actual, again, this was based on an actual survey. And this is a resurvey of it, so the actual center line points, we thought, okay, it's not gonna stay. We could go ahead and put PKs in there.
Those are marked.
Those are marked, okay, so the
They
angle
may not
points
see
in
that
center
anymore.
road are marked. Just
Is
one-
there a dimension on your map that shows, it just shows the total width, but like if you want to know the
It's
center?
It's half each way. The center line is the center line of 49.5 feet,
Okay,
okay?
so you have to measure up the center line which moves, so.
No. You want to explain that part again?
So basically, it's not the center of the pavement, but the center of the right of way. Two different things, right? The center of the pavement doesn't follow the center of the right of way. The center of the right of way is marked. So the road's not centered in the right of way.
I get it.
Right? That's where the confusion, I think, is
And the angle points at the center line are marked.
of the right of way.
of the right.
Well, if you look at that survey, and you want to go out there and find out, or just look at it and determine where the private property starts going towards the lake, that's rather difficult to figure out off that survey. That's all I'm saying. I'm just asking if there's a clarification, or if you had another set of surveys
You could scale it.
that showed it. That's all.
You could scale it.
Okay. Actually, your time is up. You want to go to the second 3 minutes later?
No, I'll wait for later.
Okay. Thanks. All right, public comments? Jones? Joe Jones.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Do you need an address?
I can get it on the previous one.
Okay, cool. Just something I want to bring up from September. I kind of got up here in September and asked for a budget versus actuals. And even, should be able to do that on a monthly basis, because you gotta be closing books every month, but even if
I
it's.
got the bank statements at 2 o'clock today.
Yeah, I understand, but they never show up. That's what happened in September. And I guess what I do when I don't have a bank statement, I go online and I pull my statement. So I just, it would be really nice to see the cash flow of how the town works, that's all. So far, I can't do that. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, public comments? Anyone? Okay, unfinished business. All right, now, emergency response plan. Now, you already had a month to go through this. All right, I'm not sure we got input from everybody yet, but we need the chief's comments, we need Todd's comments, we need Kim's comments, we need the fire chief, or the fire chief's comments to roll in. But I did go through all of the comments that Mr. Mills did. And pretty much agree with all of them, and including the ones where it said, hey, we gotta make a determination here on some of these. So we are gonna eventually need another meeting on this one too, probably a special meeting, because all we're gonna be acting on then is just this plan. Now, again, how this started is, there was a request from the county, correct, Chad, to go ahead and prepare one of these plans. So we got a little bit lucky. The town of Troy just got done completing theirs. So I called them up and said, hey, how'd you do yours? And they said they got a copy of one for the town of Hudson, St. Croix County, and they took it and they basically edited that. So they gave us a Word document of that, and then we made some changes. I had a couple meetings with Chad, and we went through and made our best shot, including leaving blanks where we didn't know what the answer was, okay? And we got to the point, said, okay, now we authorize Attorney Mills, he looked at it, he's got comments on it, but we need comments from everybody else, and then come to a completed document. I don't think, I mean, this is not something you rush, but this is also something that I think we should schedule if we have, I don't know, Chief and Todd, have you both looked at your portions of this?
I've done some of it, yeah.
And you found some issues?
Yep.
Kim, do you have any issues?
Yeah, there's some things that I've highlighted, yeah.
Barb?
I have
Who knows?
post-it notes throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
I have some
did
comments to your comments as well.
Yeah, I did pass it on to Chief DeGaro, but have not heard back from him.
Okay, okay. I believe he's the only one, was that?
DeGaro had not yet responded.
They haven't responded yet. So, I think, again, I'm trying to get to the correct path here to make this the easiest. I would like to get another draft of this that incorporates our comments, but obviously, your comments are gonna be different than mine, different than yours, and probably different than yours, okay? Jim's already put his in writing, if that's his comments. So you're the only one that's done until we say, Jim, what should we do here, okay? So I'm kinda looking for, what do you think here, as far as,
Time's up, Joe.
as far as, how we should proceed here, what's your ideas, right, here, what do you think?
I think this requires a meeting unto itself.
A working session.
It's gonna be required, obviously, I think it's required more than one meeting, but,
I agree.
but honestly, the shot that I gave at it was with the knowledge that I have on this stuff, so.
No,
I
it
mean,
was a great start.
all comments and concerns are welcome, I think it's gonna take a couple, because this is way more than anything we've ever had.
And I'm glad
Yeah.
So-
Jim also got rid of some of these things that there's no way in hell we ever considered.
Sure.
You know, those, just strike,
Right.
I appreciated those because somebody had to say it, and glad you did that.
Well, and there might be more after you guys meet,
Yes.
where you say, this just is not possible.
Or it doesn't necessarily pertain to us, so to speak.
Right.
All right. And again, I didn't have anything that was, let's call it earth-shattering, other than I thought that when we put this together, one of the questions we have to answer is whether we list names or position. You know, town chairman or supervisor, police chief or DPW. That, I don't know which is the proper way to do that.
I think you have
A
to
lot,
do
a
position,
lot
Yeah.
of
because
it,
names are gonna
they
change.
change all the time.
Position.
Even though it says this, you know, should be something reviewed
Okay.
annually or.
Yeah, if it says town supervisor, how do you know which one? Or is it, you know, some
Town of
places
East
it's all-
Troy supervisor.
Right,
What is it?
And then maybe on your cover sheet, you list the current supervisor, town chairman, supervisor one, supervisor two, and list those names. And then when you review it annually, you update that list.
I
You know,
think
you put a revised date.
Yeah, eventually the county is gonna sign off on this, so they're gonna check it, okay? We all sign it, the whole board, and then the county emergency management manager signs it. Then it becomes part of their countywide document, so they all have, you know, everybody else's, okay? Which would be, what, 25 different ones, because you got cities, villages, and towns, correct? They'll have their own.
Everyone's gonna have their own, and they want it, what the county wants is a hard copy for a case of the emergency, which is great, but nothing for the emergency management. Nothing's happened there for over 5 years, so this is kind of, another gentleman got in the position and kind of getting the ball rolling and making sure that things are on file, I think. It's great, it's just,
Have you heard any more from them about where is it yet? I haven't.
I have not gotten an email, they're probably sick of emailing me, but, you know, I said I'm doing what I can, because I was on the understanding of what we did, what I was doing before and updating was what they were talking about, not realizing it was this scope of, you know, because we have no, like I said, there's nothing, we don't have anything like this,
Okay.
really. So this is all brand new.
Okay, so when we have that meeting, I would take it, we would have Chief and the other chief and Todd, Kim, you'll be there anyway, and us, and you, and we'd go through this line by line and I guess agree on the answers, right? Because they're all, I mean, everything is marked up on all of our stuff. You got marked, you got, I don't know what you got, you know, but I'm sure you got scribbled on quite a few things on this.
Yes, and I've got a little bit of background in this from my days with the city of Franklin. This is actually a good first start. It's got many years of other people's good starts behind it. So- And I think one thing we're just gonna have to caution ourselves on is, these plans allow you to do what you can, and when you can't do it anymore, you pass it off to the next person. That's the county. So we've gotta figure out on a good day, 3 guys in DPW, we got 2 or 3 police officers, a couple people manning phones, and something happened, a tornado, a plane crash, mass casualties, something that just takes us beyond normal operating affairs, and we gotta know who's in charge, what are the duties and responsibilities that we can actually do. So often Jim was saying on his annotations was, who can do this? Does this even matter here? So I think right now we need the feedback from Joe, we got Jim's, we need fire chief, police chief, and we need Todd's work. And I think it's gonna, this will get smaller and we'll start owning duties and responsibilities. And I hope, before our year's end, that we actually exercise some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Typical
Well,
exercises and the like.
And I would like any plan that we submit to have a large disclaimer on it that says, this is what we will do if we can do it. I don't wanna specify that this is the official town action that we're required to take. Because if we can't do something, I don't want anyone coming back and using this document and say, you were required to do it, this is your plan, you said you would do it.
Well, what about a disclaimer stating to the best of our abilities?
Well, that really can be addressed when you edit the document.
You know,
Get to
you
that
know
point.
what you can do in this, and just give a personal example, when I was managing a communicable disease outbreak once, it started in my jurisdiction, but within hours, it was in 3 other jurisdictions, governing bodies, and 2 counties. So, as the incident commander in that instance, the next thing I do is like, well, when I kick it up 1 layer, where does it go? Well, it went to the region. Didn't go to the state yet. It got to the state, but it didn't go to the state yet. So you just get some comfort in doing the responsibilities, flow, knowing your community, knowing your resources, and doing what you can, and when you can't do it anymore, pass it on.
There's gonna be a lot of that, and that was my thoughts too, is, you know, with county being there as a resource for us, and, you know, under circumstances, I mean, you're talking about some of these disasters. We're not set up for that, so, I mean, a lot of those answers is who would do this, and like when I was reading through Jim's comments, a lot of them were going to be referring to county resources on a lot of it.
Okay.
We'll be stressed to try and find volunteers, to get trained, to help us with these activities. Those are hard to come by. But, you know, comfort in knowing your resources, having your telephone numbers, knowing who do I call, it works. This does work. We're at the front end here in this town.
So the answer is, we're gonna have to schedule a meeting for this Tuesday. We already got 3 or 4 lined up ahead of us here.
Is this, I don't know, something that if we can, make ourselves available, like if we can try to figure out a day during the day to make it a little more accommodating for that, cause I think it's gonna, the first meeting's gonna be kind of long. I mean, by
It
the
will,
time we get through.
it will. I mean, mostly, it's who's got what responsibilities outside, but you work from home, but you also have meetings sometimes, right? You teach sometimes, still part-time, right? No, I don't know how many meetings you got to count, not that many, right?
Very reasonable.
I got a card game once a week. So around that stuff, we can certainly fit in, you know, some meetings, you know? And it will take a special meeting, I just think we're gonna have to set one, and, once we know we have, the chief, fire chief, comments, when do you think you guys, comments will be done?
This week.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'll have them done this week.
This week?
I got most of mine done already.
Okay.
You're done.
You're done? So we could go ahead and schedule, when we schedule our meetings, we have coming next year, so. Okay,
Does the county have a person we can go to walk through this with us from?
I don't know about like physically walking through, but Jason Rowland is one of, is who I've been in contact with or emailing through for the emergency manager.
he's the county rep for
County
this,
rep.
but I can't see them sticking their neck out to formulate a plan for our town. Yes, they eventually have to
They had
set it up.
sent-
You'll be the guy signing up, probably.
Right, but they, and they had sent us, just before we had gotten this from town of Troy, had sent us a mock-up, so to speak, of, as an example to get it started, which was a little less than what we have now, but, I don't know if they would be willing to go to the extent of sending somebody out, why or not, I don't see why they would, but I don't know.
Well, when we have that meeting set, that's gonna be, when we get us together, me or you will send an email to that person and say, hey, we're meeting at this date and this time, you're available, here's what we're doing, please come, or let us know if you can come. I don't think they're gonna drive our plan, but they may have helpful comments if they've done this for other communities. Don't know if they did.
I don't believe so, not that I know of, I think everybody just kind of put theirs together. Some communities have had this already in place, so it was a, here you go, and I know like smaller communities like ours in Troy Center, and I'm sure many others
Yeah,
have not, so it's just.
yeah. I don't think the size of the community will.
Chief, you're familiar with.
Yeah, I did emergency management.
Yeah,
Sure.
and so we have a resource right there, and DeNaro, again, he would, we've got resources, but the county should be part of our planning. And I think they would want to contribute.
Good. Well, we'll invite him when we have that meeting set.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, and the more we do it in the regular part of the day, the more likely they'll show up. It's part of the day, that's all I know. Okay, let's move on here. Next steps, police garage project. I did share a couple of documents with Michelle and Kim. The American Institute of Architecture, using our base form, it's just too large, too cumbersome for a project this size. We're talking about $5 million project. It's more set up for projects in that, you know, 2 to 20 million or whatever. So I did ask Keo Henry to provide us with a couple of RFPs that they've actually prepared for other clients, and they're willing to do that. He couldn't get it to me tonight. He said, we'll get it this week. Actually, the principal guy, he was down in Florida, vacationing and sent it to his partner and said, hey, get this for us. And he responded to me and said, I can't get to it later on this week. So that'll be another one that, again, when we have all of our extra meetings, we'll tag on to that to approve that. The RFP will be request for proposals put out to the architectural world saying, here's a project, here's what it looks like, the current floor plan, the rest of what we think it's gonna look like. Please give us proposal for design and construction services, you know, for a price, okay? Most of them base it on a percentage of the construction cost. So we're to expect that, but we may get proposals that have a lump sum period no matter what, because, you know, we're saying we want, 1,600 square feet, it's not gonna change that much. So that's where we're at. When I get those, I'll share that. And the reason I volunteered you when you weren't here at the last meeting, because I believe you said that you do a lot of acquisition stuff in your work, so that'll help there. But I don't wanna get this so complex that it scares away the smaller firms, okay? Because it's not a big job. Now, we had a bathroom, that was Q Henry, they designed it, did a great job. I was the other rep on it, they like to be on this one. But they did a very good job. They were very active, and we had issues and complaints and changes. It worked slick, it worked very good, and it's done, okay? This will be no different, this will probably be easier because it's a hunk of grass, not an existing building, so it's easier. So that's where we're at. It's gonna be to get that RFP put together and approved by this board, then we advertise it, give them 30 to 45 days to respond to us, and we'll get hopefully a half a dozen proposals, and then we'll be to the board and say, who do we want to do this?
So we are going to hire an architectural company to do the specifications, and then will they also manage the RFP process, or we will?
Say that last part again?
When it's actually the construction RFP.
Oh, okay. No, the RFP is just to get a contract for the architect to do
Right.
consulting work for us.
Right.
Once it becomes a construction job, they are the architect on record, and any, questions from the contractor and subs, basically go to them, and if it's got dollar issues, then it goes to us, okay, but they manage the construction of it, okay? So we won't have to deal with multiple people. We have an architect of record who designed it, managing the construction, a prime contractor that's building it, and the subs work for that prime, all we deal with is the architect and the prime contractor. And it should be that long of a job, no basement, it's slab on grade, it's simple construction, so it's not, it's not anything complex, put it that way. So the whole idea, again, is to get an RFP out to get proposals from the architectural world to say, yes, we'll do this for you for this amount of money, or this basis of payment. So that's where we're at. Questions? Okay. Timeframe? I would hope at the first meeting that we have scheduled, we could roll that in to have the board look at it as part of that next meeting. That meeting, we would have to agree on this is what it should look like, and then the board would look at it and say, okay, Kim, send it out, get it to the paper. Be a public notice, and hopefully we get a good response. I'm not sure if what you heard, Mike, but architects are very busy nowadays.
Yeah, they're also very busy,
Pretty busy. So, that's another reason why, it's better to do the RFP process, because that way you get, multiple and a bigger service area. We could get, Madison, Milwaukee, Rockford, but more than likely it'll be, somewhere within 30 miles. So that's where we're at. Okay, that segues into our new business about meetings. And here I go, and then we bring my record book. Who's got the most experience here? Gene, Kim, that software program called Make a Meeting? You ever use that?
Oh, I have not.
Kim, you ever use
Neither
that?
have I.
Go to meeting.
Go to Meeting,
Oh.
that's it. Have you used it?
I've used it like once,
Yeah, it's free software,
yeah,
right? I think.
For an online meeting, yeah.
yeah.
Well, what it does is, it sends it to all of us, and it's got the whole calendar in there, and you just put the days you're available, or dates and times. And then it rolls out to the end, well, here's the dates, the common dates where we can make it. I think with the number of meetings we got here, the best thing to do would be to schedule like 3-4 meetings here, in a row. By in a row, I'm saying, do it in one shot, everybody look at their calendars and.
That works best, cause the calendar changes on a daily basis, but if we say right now,
Yeah, I know, I had the same problem.
So
we
lock
put it into I couldn't give you what I'm gonna be available. You know what I'm saying? It's tough for.
Okay, because we
I
need
can
a
tell you
meeting.
now what I have on the,
Yeah.
I can't tell you what's gonna change tomorrow.
Because we have listed, the meeting we need to discuss, the employee performance standards and review process, which is scope, timing, who does who, and actually you got a good start on that already, you shared with the board, so that's one meeting. Meeting with the East Troy Electric Railroad Museum, they have a new CEO, the president is now the chairman of the board.
Ward,
President.
is it Komorowski?
Yes.
Are we to a point where the whole board needs to have that meeting?
Well, previous meetings with me and you,
Right.
matter of fact, one or two of them, Pete
Kessel.
Gesselheim showed up. But this might be the meeting that it comes to the realization for them that they know they own the bridge, and for them just to say, here you go, town, it's yours, that can't be. All of us have a responsibility to our taxpayer that says, we're not gonna take on $1 million liability, because we don't own that bridge, okay? I think for the meeting with the board on that one, they have the whole board would show that we are, as a board, giving you an answer, we will work with you, but we're not gonna take a free bridge, because free is not free. So I would think it should be, include you in that one for sure. So, and then, the other meeting, the third one would be, just to go over this emergency operations plan. So, have you used that personally, that Maker meeting?
No.
Did you learn that? Who?
Yeah,
I can learn it.
It won't take long, because I know 3 years ago I did it,
I've just sent out meeting invites based on people's calendar.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, normally you block out Saturdays and Sundays, but you could do that, because when you set it up, it says, give me the time frame, and then you put in the names, and then it's the email addresses, and it goes there, and you open it up, and when you edit it and send it, everybody else can see it. It's a live document once you get people.
Do you have dates from the railroad?
No.
Then we can't send anything there.
Well,
I have the email addresses for Ward Komorowski, and I think that you would want to include Ryan Jonas in that,
Yes.
because he's been the long-term president
Correct.
and just stepped down. Ward's not gonna be probably as versed in the history of what has happened. So you're looking at trying to get 2 schedules from them. I do have personally both of their emails.
okay, we'd include them.
Um,
We'd include them on that meeting.
mhm.
But again, when we populate this, say the next month and a half, we got 6 dates where we're all available, okay? We can then designate by notice on which meetings first. Is it the emergency operations plan? Is it the railroad, Is it the process and procedures, for performance standards, And then we have another closed meeting that's gonna be tagged on there too for the one that's listed as C.
So we're not scheduling any of these tonight?
Well, you think you can learn that this week?
Yeah, I mean, I can do it in my personal time too. I can reach out to some resources.
Okay. Like I said, it's not,
I'm-
Michelle, you use it, it's not rocket science, right?
Yeah.
It's really user friendly. It's just a matter of how you initiate,
Yep,
get the people
Yep.
on,
yeah.
The only
To mark their
hesitation I have is, although you're not discussing or making decisions on any town issues, there could be open meetings violations when all of the separate town chair people are chiming in with different dates that the hour aren't available. I think it needs to be done here.
Yeah,
And now-
just like everything.
Yeah.
We always
Just
have,
like
it's,
always in the
Yeah.
past.
and like I said, it's for me, and I'm sure most people, it's easier for me to go right now, yep.
Yep.
Because then I won't have, I won't make anything that day, you know, like tomorrow could be, or by Wednesday, you know.
Yeah, you could say something today,
If
and then we don't
I
hear
put it
from
in right now,
Barb,
then there's no,
and then-
no other plans,
yeah.
I mean, that's just how
I
it.
left my calendar book home, so I'm gonna have to go back.
But these aren't one event meetings. Some of these are gonna take multiple events over months.
Mhm.
Well, once we have the
do the
initial one,
initial
then
one.
we have
Then
to
we gotta-
schedule
we
the
gotta
next.
get-
Setting the next one, that meeting,
Right.
when are we gonna meet again on this? When are we gonna meet again on this?
So which is the first one we wanna do here?
I think A and C can be scheduled tonight. B, I think you have to wait on dates from the railroad.
So A and C could probably be the same day, because we're ready to go on C.
I agree.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we can start the emergency response plan, maybe?
It would be nice
Maybe
if,
we
you
can-
know, I don't know if I can even call or talk to Chief DeGarlo and see if he's had some time to look at it, or see if it's,
I will know tomorrow, we have a meeting
Oh, you have a
tomorrow,
meeting
and
tomorrow.
we have a meeting at Thursday.
Well, and a little bit of the emergency plan is Chief Gurecki, if he wants to chime in here, he's, got commitments, so,
Next 2
right,
weeks.
next 2 weeks, Chief, that you're not available.
Yes, that's correct.
This week he is, but the next 2 weeks he's not available.
So we're looking like the 23rd through 27th of January is the first block of time we can start looking at?
No,
No.
the 30th,
After that.
the
30th?
30th,
for the emergency man,
yeah, for emergency management.
Okay.
and then
Oh, okay, the 30th,
30, I'm open 30th.
30th.
As am I.
You good, not good?
Does that work for you guys, Todd and Chief? Should,
As long as it ain't snowing.
yeah.
Okay, 30th, and, we talked about doing it more like in the afternoon or something?
If that's possible, I can make any, I don't have anything on my schedule, I can make the afternoon work or earlier. I just think that first initial meeting's gonna take some time, and then we should be able to shorten things up for, you
So
know.
start at 1, 2 o'clock,
I do have a 1 to 2 o'clock
so 2:30?
presentation that day, yeah, 2:30 would be the earliest.
2:30, Barb?
We can do it.
Okay.
Monday, January 30th at
Right.
2:30
Yep,
for emergency management.
yep. And we'll also probably, how long do you think we're gonna have to discuss C? That gonna be a,
5 minutes.
okay, so we could post the close for the beginning and then roll right into the, okay, emergency management.
I thought you were doing the B, or, no, the emergency
C.
management on the 30th.
We
Right.
are.
Yeah.
He's saying
And we're doing
because
C
is only
right
5
before that.
minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna group A and C
Yeah,
together.
that's-
Sorry.
B, I'll get some dates from the railroad.
Can we do A
What
and C?
about A?
Can we
A
do,
and C?
can we do A and C together?
That's what I just thought we did.
Yeah, on the 30th.
No, you just
No.
said
It
emergency
is not
management,
management.
Joe.
You did.
Oh, okay,
This
is
is
this
the
one here?
30th at
You're
2:30.
right, you're right.
So now we wanna try to do A and C on one day.
Yes.
And we don't need Chief Gurecki for that, so we can go back to. the-
No, that's what I'm saying, now we can utilize whatever from here on
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
But you want Chief DeGarro on the 30th?
If he would be available, that would be great.
I will ask him tomorrow.
Okay, so it's emergency management,
Let's just leave it just emergency management on the 30th.
Yep. And then we'll
That's a big
do,
document.
yep, then we'll do our A and C together, would be a good one, I think.
Yeah.
okay, so,
And
so that would be the first week of February.
Well,
no,
Can we do
we
it
can
earlier?
do it,
Go
we
back
can do
to
it starting tomorrow.
January
or-
16th.
Oh, and we don't need
we
anybody
don't-
else?
Right.
You know, it's just us.
Today's 9th,
Correct.
alright. For me, Wednesday this week it'd have to be after 4, Thursday would have to be
I can't do anything
Thursday, we have.
other than the afternoon of the 19th or the afternoon of the 25th.
19th works for me.
19th
No,
works
19th
for-
is Tri-County.
We have the Tri-Troy.
Tri-County.
Otherwise, it was what, the 25th?
So 16, 17, 18?
You said nothing this weekend?
No,
Or the 25th, and in the afternoon of the 25th?
afternoon of the 25th.
Does the afternoon of the 25th,
What do we
look
have
good?
for?
Because Jim needs, there.
I can do that.
Like when we say afternoon?
Whenever, anytime after 1 is good.
So like a
25th, you say audit all day, Kim? You have audit, 23rd, 25th?
Yeah, the auditors will be in this room.
And do they, is there like a time they're here, or do they just
They're here all day long
until 7 o'clock at night, or?
till usually at least 5.
Yeah, because we
We're
usually
8
lock
to
them in.
5.
We
Yeah.
usually lock them in.
Yeah.
What days are they here?
All right, did we say the 26th was no good for some reason?
Jim says it's
I
until
have,
the 25th.
trial that evening.
26th?
Mhm.
Okay.
What about during the day?
During the day?
Probably prepping for trial.
Depends on what time.
I'm open.
What time works for you on the
26th is
26th?
okay for me.
Pardon?
What time works for you on the 26th?
I can do noon.
Let's do it.
What do we got, 23rd?
26.
26.
26th.
Noon. And we do it at 1 p.m.
26th, noon. 26th is Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. That'll be the second meeting, that'll be for A and C.
For reviews and
Hopefully that'll just be an hour.
for claim.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's probably right. I don't think it should be much more than that. And then after we have our first emergency management, we can talk about scheduling the second one. And when I get a date for
The railroad.
the railroad, I just might, bring that to one of these meetings, say, here's what I got. I'm not gonna get an answer this week.
Right.
Probably next week I'll get it. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 meetings that are outside of our normal meetings. Okay,
There's only 2
Only
scheduled.
2 that are.
2 are scheduled.
2 are together, A and C are together.
No, 2 are scheduled. 2 need to be scheduled.
Right.
Railroad needs to be scheduled.
Yeah.
Okay, we got, right.
Review for me the days and dates for me.
I will when we get to that
January
portion of the
26th.
agenda.
You got
Okay?
it?
You railroad off there?
26th at noon, 30th at 2:30.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay, let's move on here. All right, now let's make sure we're posted right here and we're okay. We have on the agenda resolution 2023-01, and the only change on that that we were planning to do tonight as posted was on communications committee, we added Joe Jones and Mary Jo Jones, okay? And this was in the packet, and Jim, can you tell me what your concerns were about whether this was posted okay to do this tonight?
Because the packet's not posted, just the agenda's posted.
No,
So
the
the
packet
packets
is
are
now
posted
posted.
online.
Packet's posted.
The full packet
I
is
printed
posted
it out
online.
after posting it.
Right, but in order for a legal posting for the agenda, you're putting it online in a couple different places.
No, it's in one spot. It says agenda, and then the packet includes the agenda and all the items, which includes resolution.
But you're saying the
2023.
compliance requirement is 3 postings,
Which are.
and the packet doesn't include all, isn't in all 3.
But
The packet
we
doesn't
don't
even
post
include
the
legal
packet.
posting.
Exactly,
But
that's
that's
why
why
the
you're saying-
agenda needs to be
The-
spelled out as to what you're actually doing.
We're amending the town board appointments.
And that's what we're
Which
doing.
ones?
Yeah,
With who?
This is one of our weak points in terms of language.
And that's why, before it's posted and put on the website, I forward it to Chairman Clarkowski and Attorney Mills for their final approval before I do anything with it.
But until I look at a packet, I don't know what you guys are even planning on doing with those.
Amending town board appointments.
Right, with whom and what,
One.
which
I
committees
could,
is
this
my
could be
question.
5 pages long then, Jim. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Kim, I'm telling you what the law requires. I don't believe this is sufficient.
Okay, you're saying, according to this,
So the
under new
last
business,
You have
18
to
years.
it would
say
say add two
which,
people to.
what you're
commission.
changing.
Yeah, but do we usually do that in May?
No.
We just say appointment of town board committees.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it would be
Jim
full
said,
resolution,
we
this
should
would
be
be
right.
easier. This
Well,
is
maybe-
just saying adding 2 people to the communication committee.
But in May, we don't say which committees are changing and which are not.
They're not really changing.
Well, yeah, plan commission
18
change
years
every
we've
year,
been
some
wrong
people
then.
quit, die.
So all the
or-
appointments for the last 18 years have been wrong?
We do a resolution for the appointments.
And that's what this is.
I understand that's what that is.
I don't get it.
I think it's fine by itself, but, Jim says,
I think we're beating our head against the wall.
well, we are. I mean, it does list this resolution, and it says amending, and we are amending. Jim is saying that for the public to know what you are amending, we would list that. Well, it's true though, when we do the annual one, we don't, list every name or who changed. We're adding 2 people, we're not taking anybody off. We've got 100 people here.
Sometimes.
And by the way, this is not gonna stop
Right,
him from
sometimes we
leaving.
take committees off completely.
Yeah.
Say it again?
Sometimes we remove committees completely.
Sure, yeah, we do, and we don't say in the, agenda that we're
Yes, we
eliminating.
did, when we got rid of the cable committee and the airport.
We did say that?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay.
I don't recall. being
It was a
noticed.
meeting discussion, but then when we actually got the resolution, I don't
They
think
just
it was
weren't
on the
there.
agenda.
Okay, well, how many meetings you got between now and the 26th?
Ooh.
Next Monday.
You got one.
One.
And the public members of the public meeting are certainly welcome to be there, and they can be there.
Sure.
Okay? The only thing is, and you, I heard you don't vote on things, he can be an active participant, exactly how anybody else would be there, they have input, they give input, you guys have a discussion on what you're doing. I don't really see a problem with that, and then we go ahead and notice this thing up for the 26th meeting and approve this thing.
Well, and you have to put park on then too.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
On the 26th.
on the 26th. That one, as well as these 2.
26.
Yeah, we'll do it before.
But
At the special.
it
I
doesn't
mean,
mean.
even if you just list the committees that you're going to be appointing people to.
Right.
Then in May, when we get to the long resolution, you don't have to post an agenda that has 30 odd names on it.
Okay,
Or attach your proposed resolution to the agenda here. Not the whole packet.
okay, well, like I said, like they said, this was in the packet, but it's not on the agenda standalone.
Correct.
Which is posted in the
All right.
official posting.
Joe, there's no problem with you being there.
All right.
Okay. And we are going to approve this resolution on the 26th, which is our next special meeting we're doing. You all right? Okay. Okay, resolution 2023-02. And Kim, you wrote down?
Yep.
Okay.
Resolution 2022, a resolution updating chargeback rates for the town of East Troy. Whereas the town of East Troy has in place an ordinance permitting the town board to adjust on an annual basis chargeback rates to reflect the actual cost incurred by the town of East Troy in participating in public projects of other works where requested. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of East Troy, Walworth County, Wisconsin, that the following chargeback rates shall apply for the year 2023. DPW level 1 regular hourly rate, $45.01. DPW level 1 overtime hourly rate $67.52. DPW level 2 regular hourly rate $46.60. DPW level 2 overtime hourly rate $69.90. DPW level 3 regular hourly rate $46.04. DPW level 3 overtime hourly rate $69.06. This resolution ratifies the action of the town board at the January town board meeting such that these rates shall apply to the entire calendar year 2023.
Well, I have a question. Or do we, for resolution, do we have to have 2 readings? Or
No.
No, we have to,
No.
motion, Gordon has to.
All right,
I have
Barb
a
made,
question.
Barb made a motion,
I didn't hear it.
I got cut off. I make a motion, we approve resolution 2023-02.
we have a second.
Yeah, I'll second.
She had a second. Discussion. Any question?
So this says chargeback rates for public projects of other works. So this does not apply to the plowing of private roads?
This is for public projects.
Right, that's what so
This
is there anywhere, that's what I
This
said.
applies directly to services that the DPW provides to sanitary district number 2 and sanitary district number 3 specifically.
Okay. So is there a need to post anywhere our chargeback rates?
These rates are forwarded to both sanitary districts so that they have them for their records. They are notified with their mailing. Jean already has a copy of this, and then she will send a notice to Chuck when she sends him his latest.
As soon as it's signed, I'll send him a
Invoice.
copy.
Yeah.
But I guess my question was, do we need to publish the the rate that we're using for providing services to private residents?
We don't need to publish it, but that might be something that we include on whatever contract draft or whatever you guys authorize me to look at.
I just think it begs a question that we're publishing DPW rates.
We're not publishing them.
Well, a resolution is public document.
It is.
It's not published. It's posted, not published.
Right, so we have posted and shared on our website these DPW rates. And so I think it's gonna beg the question that the DPW is providing other services at other rates. It doesn't say what kind of services this is. And so then people are gonna say the dots don't connect here.
Are you referring back to snow plowing?
Yes,
And the $25 rate.
yes.
The part-time guy,
I have
Yeah.
a question.
part-time guy. Does the part-time guy work at the?
Negative. He does
Not
not.
sure- he's not
Well, and
trained
it
to
doesn't
serve
say in
them.
here, it just says participating in public projects. It doesn't
Which are
tell you that it's
sanitary
sanitary, it doesn't tell you that anywhere. It says DPW services.
Public.
Right.
I would defer to Jim on that.
I would say we're setting
Well, to
ourselves
make it
up.
clearer, if this applies to the rates charged to the 2 sanitary districts, you just put in parentheses, sanitary district 1 and 2,
2
or
and
2
3.
and 3.
Mhm. I just don't think it would hurt, I think we're setting ourselves up for questions.
Yeah.
Okay, put that on there. Put that on there. The question then, the second question, would we list the part-time guys, but those guys change and their rates change, but we know who it is this year, because we just established that. How many, you got this year, 2 guys? What are they?
We have 2 that we've had, and actually, when I did our budget, I have I guess you call them full-time, part-time, starting Wednesday. He'll be working 3 days a week,
Okay. All right.
but he'd be at the 25 an hour. he won't have anything to do with the sanitary or water.
Well, training wise, you wouldn't want them, right?
Or you could just add the part-time rates on this resolution.
That was my question.
Good. Think it's a good
Because
idea?
otherwise people are gonna say, where's $25 coming
Well,
from?
where's it come from? Well, that's what we pay them.
But why do we publish one and, you know, not the other?
So you're saying, Michelle, you want it to say something like, part-time DPW employees,
Yes.
this rate?
25.
In case
So
they
have
were to
the,
come out and
so
help
have
you
the
guys
1,
with-
2, and the
You know,
3,
someone-
and then have
I don't have a
part-time.
problem with that.
Just defining it, and that way it answers the question as you're reading it. I mean, if the gentleman would come out and help you guys for some reason, it's on there.
Okay, so the as amended, we're gonna add that, you know, it's for work for sanitary district number 2 and 3, and we're gonna add the part-time, DPW, part-time, regular 25, overtime, what, 37.50?
They don't get overtime.
Because
Well,
they're
I get overtime, so let's just, boom, $25 an hour. Okay,
Plus FICA.
any other questions on this? If not, on the amended resolution 2023-02, on that motion, all in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? None, okay. So you're gonna retake that one, I'll come in someday? Okay. All right. Attorney's report. Authorize Attorney Mills to look at snow plowing contracts. That is additional work in addition to what research and legal opinion was given to us previously. This has to do specifically with contracts and language in the statute about contracts and what is a contract and what isn't a contract. I think we already established that we have a contract, but it's not written, okay? There's an offer, acceptance, and a payment, contract. However, we need legal advice to say, is that sufficient? And that's what we're authorizing Attorney Mills to look at. That's all.
Well, and I was given some examples, some of which I like, some of the language, some I don't like. And with respect to the Department of Revenue, it'd be nice to have something, even if it's a half-page sheet, that says these people are agreeing to pay this tax. That's basically what it is, a special charge.
Especially when you have turnover and, yeah.
Okay,
So I'm not looking at a contract as you might be thinking of a contract, I'm thinking more of like a permission slip type thing where you cut off the bottom, you send it to the town with your $35.
but $35 is.
Those are tax, it goes on the taxes.
Yeah.
We would never collect $35 from 259 people.
No.
Bob can testify to that.
And can I just ask?
Well, then they would check a box about authorizing the $35 to go onto their tax
Ask the
bill.
school how many of their referendum questionnaires they got back. How many of these do you think we're gonna get back? And what if somebody doesn't send it back and doesn't agree to it?
Right.
Then what's the situation?
Right.
So
I
my
mean,
grandma that lives on the end of Sherwood Drive, you're
At
gonna
the
plow,
beginning.
plow, but you're not gonna plow this section. And then when the ambulance has to come,
So I mean, invest in Jim's time if we don't have a plan for what if the 5th house on Shorewood doesn't sign? Then what are we going to do? Does that mean we're not going to plow Shorewood because one person doesn't agree?
But Jim's saying for
So-
nobody to
Well, why don't
sign
you do
isn't
it
the
the
best
other
idea,
way?
is
Why
that-
don't you
is that
say,
what I'm saying?
unless we hear from you, it's assumed accepted,
But you're,
rather than returning it?
can you do that?
That's not really much better than what we're doing currently.
that's
Still
what you're saying.
It's
What
a
we're doing
passive
right now,
acceptance.
Right.
You
It's a
don't
passive
agree with, so
acceptance.
that's why you're trying to come up.
That's what we've been operating on.
Yeah, passive acceptance. I mean, that's what we've done at in financial aid at colleges.
And I don't believe anyone's actually challenged their tax bill,
No,
I've never gotten a complaint about the $35 fee.
I think we
other
opened
than
the
Ted
Pandora's
Zest,
box.
that
That's
one year with the
because
classification of the road change.
Incorrect.
Well,
Because it was not-
according to
it's
what
not a
Greg
private
had
road.
told me,
Documented.
Greg had told me Weber Road was a private road. That's why the charges got put on there.
Okay. But that's the only one I can remember,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, and that was logistics, that wasn't a matter of doing it or not doing it.
Right.
That was logistics, so. And that's on our state road, it's on our road age map, it's there now, it's on the list. So, okay,
I think there should be some kind of disclaimer on the people that live on private roads, you know, like, I don't, that $35, do we explain it on their tax bill at all?
It says
or-
snow
It
plowing.
says
Snow plowing.
Yeah,
special assessment, snow plowing.
yeah.
Because you live on a private road or something, or,
It's because.
Well, even, okay,
you know,
so you're thinking of sending maybe a one-page document that basically says, here's what we've been doing. We add a $35 charge onto your bill. If you wish to opt out, fill this form out and return it to us?
no,
Because
I
that's
don't
not
think
an
we
option.
They opt out.
I'm thinking on the tax bill of people on private roads, there's just a one line
If it hasn't been,
that
Just like it
says.
says garbage charge.
Exactly.
I mean, if it hasn't been a problem, we're making it a problem.
That's
Why
correct.
are we making it a problem?
That's correct. I think it's a mess, actually, that way. Okay, well, the idea here,
Just like we
Is-
have. don't-
Well, we
is
have
there
two
a res-
resolutions that say contract.
do we- For the garbage charge,
It doesn't say written contract, but
to the
it'd be
garbage,
nice to have something.
to the garbage charge, is that a resolution or an ordinance?
The garbage charge is a resolution, I believe.
Okay, so we're assuming that everybody, because we have the garbage charge, that they're agreeing to it?
But this is
That's a
separate.
public service that
So
all
is-
residents.
This is
get.
for
But I
a
don't-
discretionary service the town is providing.
Okay.
And the statute reads as the
Not to
statute
all.
reads.
okay, well, that's why we want, that's why we got this
Look
notice.
into
We
the
want,
options.
we want Jim to look at this and advise us on which way to go here. And I understand what Gene's saying is, you know, really, okay, the devil's in the details, say the answer is this, well, we don't have that answer yet. We want to get that answer, and we kinda think we know where it is, but we don't have it directly yet. So that's what the notice on the agenda is to authorize Jim to look at that. So I think we have to act on that. We're gonna authorize him or not going to.
I make a motion that we authorize Attorney Mills to review snow plowing contracts for private roads, private residents. Second.
All right, we have a motion, a second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None, motion carried. Okay, the next item on the agenda, enforcement of junk ordinance deal. Carla.
Yeah, this is on here because I understand that Attorney Draper has reached out to you asking the town board to prepare some sort of order.
Yeah.
And I'm out of the loop on that, so,
Have you discussed with him last week after we talked?
no, I haven't been
Okay,
authorized.
you gotta wait till now.
Right.
Okay, so what he did is he, again, Attorney Draper is prosecuting this ordinance violation for the town because both our attorney and judge recused themselves, so I guess it got sent to the county and then they designated where it went. And it ended up.
No, actually, the judge recused himself, so they assigned it to a new court,
In court.
which was down at that end of the county. And then I contacted Attorney Draper, who's the city of Lake Geneva attorney, to see if he would be special prosecutor on this case. So I met with him, I turned over my file. That happened last July or August, probably. The last I knew, there was I believe it might have been a second pretrial conference between him and Carla and John's attorney in September, but I haven't heard anything since.
Okay, so he reached out to me and said, he says, here's the way I think this should go, or has to go. And he was in conference with John's attorneys, and they were talking, I don't know what they discussed, but he said, what it would come down to is the chief, our chief of police, with the ordinance in hand, to basically go to the property and create a list of what's gotta go. And then he would give that to the town board, and Attorney Draper saying the town board would then do an order, us do an order, saying, you know, in order to comply with this, you have to do this, you gotta remove this stuff, okay, by a set date. And I'm going, this is, you know, irregular and different, we need you in the loop to advise us on how we can accomplish that. So he's saying that's the way it's gonna go. I don't know if there's,
Well, great, he's the special prosecutor, he should be drafting an order, and if you want me to review that order, I will.
okay,
And that's the conversation I wanna have with him. You're paying him as the special prosecutor,
right.
why am I even involved in this?
Okay,
At this
well,
point?
because the board will have to act, and that's what drags
And I don't
you
know what he
back.
wants in his order, I
Okay.
don't know what he discussed with their attorney.
Okay, all right, so that's what we're authorizing Jim to do here is
Authorizing you to look at
To
that.
contact Attorney Draper and find out
what's,
what the heck you need, and then you need to prepare something.
I'll make a motion. Make a motion for, to allow Attorney Mills to, contact Attorney Draper in regards to the complaints.
okay, all right, do we have a second?
Second.
Barb, second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
You need an
Opposed?
address?
Done. Okay, so,
Get something to write on
okay, public comments period number 2.
No, she's in her thoughts about notice.
Oh,
Public comments period number 2, John?
Don't start it yet, Joe, I'm not talking.
I didn't push the button. Zeros.
Thank you. I'd like to give this to Kim and maybe get a copy before we leave. It's open records request. And then,
Public,
public-
open meetings, public.
Yeah, okay. We can fire it up. Roughly, got a quick question. What are the survey costs that we did down East Shore Road? How much in dollars and cents?
I don't recall, do you? 10,000?
yeah.
Possibly.
Okay, thank you. Video retention here. At the town of East Troy, I spoke to Jen, our video statistician up here, and she told me that they only are gonna be saving the videos for 1 year. I think the retention law is supposed to be 7 years, but she said we're just gonna use the CD, the audio recordings, and skate by that way. So maybe that's something we should look into so we get the things saved for at least 7 years so people down the road. I will still be recording, I will be putting them up. Mine are all there from 2.5 years ago, so feel free to go help yourself. Okay,
We'll look at that on the committee.
yeah, perfect. On the next thing, I don't mean to be rushing, but I got a short time frame here. On the next thing, on the agenda, getting back to what Mills was saying, in the packets, we were put on the agenda and there was not a matching packet to go along with our spot of the agenda. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I also want to throw out there that with this junk ordinance that you guys are referring to, there's 2 things that are running here. When the former chief left, you gotta wait your turn. When the former chief left, he mailed her 8 tickets and me 8 tickets on the way out of town. And my 8 tickets were for some blocks that I've had on my property for 4 years. And he classified them as junk when they're landscaping blocks, okay? That's one issue. The second issue is, the only thing that Carla got the tickets for were her chicken coop, the way we're designing it. There's no looking around, there's no other junk flying around over there. It's the way the chicken coop was designed. Now, I have a video here on my thing, and if you want me to play it for you, it's 35 seconds, 38 seconds, and it shows the former chief of us that we had, Chief Jensen, on the property, explaining that everything is in 100% compliance once we get some documentation back from the county on modification of the permit for the storage container, which I have a letter from Darren Schwanke that I got today that covers that. So I have all the bases covered here regarding the junk ordinance stuff. And with that, I yield.
Okay. I need some clarification on you're asking to have the right to come back and just go through my property. The tickets were specifically written, if you did your due diligence and looked at the evidence that the chief turned in, was a cloudy picture of my chicken coop run, R-U-N, run. The building's got a permit, it probably is the only chicken coop that's got a permit in the whole county. And I don't see any ordinances how a chicken coop run should be built. That's what the tickets are on, that's what's going on between the attorneys. There aren't any ordinances on the book about a chicken coop run. And now it's coming up where you think you're gonna walk around my property and look at everything. Barney comes in again with pictures that are haven't changed. He keeps taking pictures. Everything on 1/4 of an acre of that property has been approved by the county. There's some boats that might have changed because we have personal boats. I'm on 6 acres, and I should be able to have on and off boats that we pull off of the lake. They're personal boats, okay? So Barney comes and takes a picture of the same stuff that's been approved back there with some new boats or whatever. I wanna, if I had the time, I wanna show you what the rest of the property looks at from the road all the way back to maybe a quarter of what we have remaining. There might be a few other items from my garden going back, but I want to pass this along. Barney gets to bring in pictures every 2 seconds of the same thing over and over again. I want to have my defense looked at, and you guys look at the pictures of the beginning of my property from the road all the way back. Because I'm tired of all these skewed pictures the man takes.
My suggestion is provide that to your attorney. Just
I
like I
shouldn't
told
have-
you, I'm submitting these photos to Attorney Draper. The town and the town board are really not involved in this issue.
I know,
The two
so
attorneys now.
why does the merry-go-round keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on? Because nobody steps up to the plate and goes, enough is enough. They're all angry about Tim had to take down his fence, so now he's defending Tim. Tim got the heck out of the town, tore down the fence, I don't have a clue why, it was on my property, and that's probably why. And Connie was getting this close to telling him to take it off my property. But nobody cares about my rights. I don't need to be perfectly clean, or I'd be clean, but if I can have boats there and everything else, I have a right to do it. Not because it bothers him and Tim.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm all in agreement for
I'm going
whoever
court
needs
case
to
so
get,
we can-
whoever needs to come on. I'm in agreement, but you're looking at the tickets that are written. I'm done with people traipsing around and pushing me around, looking at everything and trying to dig up more things. Because the ordinances are so poorly written with junk that you allow the ex-chief of the police to keep moving the goalpost. Tired of it.
Okay, public comments. Anyone else? Bob?
Michelle, I just wanted to thank you for the clarification on the rate for snow plowing and part-time people. I had the same question. I'm not an attorney, but I think that going down that road, I think everything needs to be transparent. There hasn't been a problem to the best of my knowledge, but how are you gonna address it? I've got 52 residents on our road. If you get 30 of those residents that say, I don't want the snow plowing option, that's gonna increase the cost of plowing for all the other people down other roads as well. So if people opt out, Todd can't just raise his blade, say, oh, this person doesn't want plowing, this person does. We can't chop it up that way and have consistency. So I don't wanna pay more for plowing if another private road, everyone opts out.
Thank you.
Potentially, obviously, they would be foolish to not accept $35 a year compared to a private contract.
They're still gonna get the benefit of the road being plowed and not have to pay their fair share. Is, I guess, what I'm after.
Okay.
I just have one thought on that same thing. Is there a way that, you can't do this with a resolution? Won't work?
We have been doing it with a resolution.
Oh, so can't you just list all the properties on that resolution? And it's just.
But that's still, they don't have any input.
Agreement, say it's a contract.
Yeah.
Well, it is a contract when they remit their $35. But until and unless they remit it, the third prong of a contract isn't met.
But, Kim just said, nobody has refused payment. Right?
The only ones that have are the ones that
Again,
don't pay.
It's offer, acceptance, payment.
Consideration is the payment, yeah.
Yeah, payment. So, it is, but that's why we wanted you to look at it, so. Okay. Public comments, anyone else? We good? Good? All right, thank you. Where are we? Licenses and special event permits, any?
None.
Okay, special and pending meetings.
January 16th at 6:30 is next communication committee. January 18th is a group like Memorial Park Board. January 23rd through the 25th is the 2022 audit. January 26th at 12 o'clock PM is a special town board meeting with closed session. January 30th at 2:30 PM is the emergency management discussion meeting. That will be an open meeting. January 31st is the last day of in-person tax collection at the East Troy Town Hall. February 2nd and 15th are planning commission meetings. February 6th and 20th are communications committee meetings. Starting February 7th, all day in-person absentee voting. February 13th is the next town board meeting at 6:30. February 14th at 9 o'clock AM is the public test of the voting equipment. And February 21st is the spring primary, which will be for Supreme Court, Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice and the East Troy School Board.
Are those considered primaries?
It's a primary, correct.
Okay.
You have to whittle down the candidates to get to be who will be on the April ballot.
Okay. All right. We're done. We're gonna adjourn, and pay some bills here. You're welcome to watch us sign checks. So motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Brian,
Second.
Sharon, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, you're getting right. I see that picture. Was that a bird?
Right. I'm not going.
How much was it?
My son, his dog.
What kind of
They didn't add it to value, and I didn't look it up.
For Christmas.
It's not cheap.
No, they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
Pretty awesome to have something another watch. Better than a flash maker.
Wondering if I can answer your question, it has nothing to do with my mother and they have a trust. One of my sister-in-laws is not currently in.
Okay. Sister-in-law?
Yeah, it's my wife's sister. It's my wife's sister. It's my mother-in-law. My wife is the trustee. She has two sisters. One sister is the other sister is
In a meeting, right?
It's my wife is trustee. So, give her the sister that's she highly
Not if it's not a per portion.
Okay, so it would have to come from her portion. I was assuming that?
Unless, I mean, I don't know how many beneficiaries there are in this trust. Okay. Unless both are in agreement, they can both do whatever they want.
That's what I was assuming, and he said, I said,